Hi, I'm Leon, co-founder at Reshape AI. We offer an AI-powered SaaS platform that allows business users to automate any document-centric workflow without IT or any coding. And today I would like to look at intelligent document processing. I will show it based on an example. In front of me I have an invoice that I want to automatically classify as an invoice, and I also want to automatically extract all the fields necessary for our follow-up workflows. And our designer makes it quite easy. Business users can take whatever sample they have and just simply drag and drop it onto the designer and say create a new document type. There's a couple of things that happen here in the background. First off, our assistant tries to classify the document, and it also tries to come up with the rules of what makes this document an invoice. Second, the assistant will also try to come up with all the fields that it thinks are necessary for follow-up processing. So you can see the assistant is done. Make the document a little bit bigger. And on the details tab, we'll see the assistant came up and said, this is an invoice. And it also gave us a definition of what makes it an invoice. And you can see the definition is not based on layout, keywords, or any pattern. It's based on the same principle of how I would explain a colleague what makes an invoice an invoice. The assistant also came up with a bunch of fields. And each field, again, has a definition that in easy terms explains how that data can be extracted. Business users are always in charge. They can simply edit any fields. They can edit definitions and descriptions. They can also delete fields that they might think are not necessary for follow-up processes. Once we have that definition, we can apply it to the sample, and we do that by processing it. So that means we're taking all the definitions that were automatically or manually created and we apply them to the document. So now the assistant is going through, looking at the document and extracting all the data based on the definition. So you can see we have an invoice date, we have a due date, we have an invoice number. All of the data that is defined is now extracted, and this is just a designer. So that would happen automatically in the background if you use our API or our workflow tool. Business users can always adapt and modify and extend definitions. So what I'm missing here, for example, is the table of the items or services that have been purchased and are part of the invoice. So now I can simply say, create a new field that extracts all items of the invoice and returns description, and amount. So not only am I creating a new field, I'm also telling the assistant on how I want it returned, what's the format that I needed. And you can see the companion or our assistant comes up with the definition. I can change it, I can modify it, and I'll add that field now. And if I reprocess the document, so I'm applying the new definitions that we just created and to the document, the assistant will now try to also follow those new definitions and try to locate all the invoice items and return the description and the amount to us in a format that we can easily use in any follow-up workflow that we have. So if I scroll down, you can see I have a new table here now, which gives me the item name, the amount for both items that are in the list. What makes us different to a lot of the usual OCR or capture systems out there is, as you can see, first off, we're not going for regions, we're not going for patterns or keywords, we're going for the context of the document. And that means that we don't need a bunch of samples for it to work for every invoice out there. And I can show that by simply adding another sample to apply the same definition to. So I'm going to just upload a new sample. You will see it looks a little bit different. The data is in different on different positions, has different keywords in front of them. There's more items in the table. So if I make that a little bit bigger, I can process the new sample, that second sample now, and apply the exact same definitions now. And since it's context-based, it will still return data, even though the data might be located on a different page, different position. So you can see we have the recipient, which is the bill to. We have the invoice date. If I click on that, you can see the invoice date is on the, if you make that a little bit smaller, on the upper right part. And it also extracted all the invoice items that we just created as a field. And it works the same way for any document or form that you might have in your organization. If you would like to try it out, you can request beta access on our website, reshape-ai.com, by simply clicking the Request Beta Access button, which will open up a form that you can fill out. And once you fill that form out, one of our team members will be in contact with you. We are a SaaS platform, but all our modules do run on-premise as well. So it's completely enterprise ready. And when you sign up to the beta, we will give you a segregated environment that no other customer has access to. We think that Reshape AI, especially intelligent document processing, gives you a very good use case for AI to get started. And since everything is in its own environment, it's also one of the safest ways to get started. The way we utilize AI makes it repeatable and transparent, instead of having a black box somewhere that you send something in and you get something back. Our pricing is consumption-based, so there is no high upfront cost. And if you sign up to the beta, you will get free credits that you can use to test out our software. I do hope you sign up, and I hope I can talk to you in the future.